Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are on the finish of your syllabus for SSC exam, Social Science 2, Geography, Chapter 9, page 61. Today we finish off with the last chapter, and this is telling you about tourism, transport and communication. Here I told you in my first lecture, June 4, 2020, the whole book is only comparison between India and Brazil. Now again here with topics related to tourism, transport and communication. Brazil has a population of just 19 crores, whereas India has a population of 130 plus crores. Obviously, the GDP and the percentage of population working in this particular field, in this particular profession is rather vast. If you look at the figure 9.2, it is showing you the percentage of population engaged in tourism. Brazil has around 7.9% of people working in this profession or in this business of tourism, and the income, the GDP contribution is more than approximately 10%. And it's vice versa in India. More people are engaged in this profession of tourism, that is approximately 9%, but the contribution of GDP from Indian nationalism point of view, it is just above 8%. Even though the population of India is more engaged in tourism, yet the income is rather meager, and vice versa in Brazil. Figure 9.1, page 61, tells you the number of tourists that do visit India and Brazil in the year 1995 to 2015. The red line is the Indian tourists that visit India from all over the world, whereas same with Brazil, where the tourists visit Brazil. In Brazil you can see there was an increase in 1995 to 2000, a large increase of around 40% increase. But after that it has kept itself stable till 2010. Then from 2010 to 2015 there is a slight increase of 10%. But India, it was rather low in 1995, but from 2000 to 2020, now the current status, it has risen very, very, very fast. Right from 60 lakhs to more than 150 lakhs presently or currently. That means tourism has increased in India to a vast extent, but yet the Indians have to yet develop themselves, maintain themselves, keep them steady with the latest technology also. Now tourism, according to Brazil, the national game, the international game, football. Then the famous, if you look at your textbook, the cover page has, at the bottom of it, shows you Christ the Redeemer, that means the statue which is around 30 meters in height. Then you have the carnival every year, figures on the cover page also showing you that. at the bottom of it. Cover page has it at the bottom. You can see the anaconda snake also there. There's surfing being done on water. And a small pic of the carnival, which is being celebrated on a very large scale basis. It brings ample amount of tourists during this particular period, that is during this month in Brazil. Then you can see the people dancing also. If you look up onto the YouTube, you can just write the samba dance. You will find the complete carnival of Brazil on a very, very large scale basis. It is taken into consideration. You have many places to visit if you do go to Brazil. That's the football stadium at Manaus. Then you have the beach, Rio de Janeiro. And then you have the marine tourism also in Brazil. Then we move on to transportation, or the modes of transport. All the four modes of transport are available: the roadways, railways, waterways and airways. Obviously the most cheap and safe, not safe, I won't call it safe, but it is safe according to the flow of the rivers out there, lakes out there in Brazil. It is cheapest and best. It has around 3,700 kilometers of water navigation taking place. Inland, most of it. Even though there is coastline of marine transport also done on a large scale basis between country to country. There you have good amount of the, if you look at the figure on the page, sorry, not on the page, but on the cover page, on the rear end, behind side, you can see the river, Amazon river shown out there. So you can just see the length of water transportation is around 3,700 kilometers, whereas the breadth of that same river is ranging from 150 kilometers to 200 kilometers. That's a very, very vast distance. So that is why water transport is on a very large scale base, even though it is cheap in that case. Then we have railways. If you look at your figure 9.9, page 63, the northern part of it doesn't have much of its railways because of the topography of the landforms. All the various highlands, mountainous region, Amazon forest, plus the rivers on a very large scale in the northern part of Brazil is there. That is why the railways are rather meager in the northern part of Brazil, but if you look at the southern part and the coastal part of Brazil, you will find that there is a good network of railways there. Then you have roadways. You can see major roadways with your thick red lines on the map of figure 9.9, page 63. Railways are there on a large scale basis, even though there are mountainous regions out there, but it is connected with only main or metropolitan cities of Brazil. Brasilia is the capital of Brazil, and it has everything available out there. You can see the airport, you can see roadways, you can see railways, all are interconnected very well. From your airways point of view, obviously the northern part also has airways to reach a remote region. That is the most easy and affordable at times of calamities of different types. You have airports also in the northern part along with the southern part, and the coastline also. Good airways and waterways available on the coastline. You can see various ports are there, airports also on the coastline region and ports on the coastline region. Even though Brazil is a developed country, Yet the railways are not developed, especially in the northern part of Brazil. The reason is very simple. There is too much of dense forest out there in your Brazilian northern part. Apart from that, there are various mountainous regions also, various highlands also. So because of the landform topography, the railway is not properly developed in that way. Then we move on to the communication part of Brazil. Communication is all available in Brazil, no doubt. Page number 66, figure 9.12 is telling you, showing you that Brazil has a very vast east-west distance of around 2 hours 48 minutes. That is approximately 168 minutes. That is the reason why Brazil has 4 time zones. 4 times, all forms of communication available. That means you have your telephones, your fax, your telex, telegrams, your mobile systems, all your internet working is available in Brazil now, no doubt. Then you move on to the 4 time zones in Brazil. East-west distance has a coverage of 168 minutes, 2 hours 48 minutes. If you take it in the longitudinal point of view, it is 70 degrees west to 34 degrees west. Obviously, Brazil is in the western hemisphere. That is why the longitudinal distance is 34 degrees west to 70 degrees west from the end to end of Brazil. That is the main reason why Brazil has been divided into 4 time zones. Actual time zone is official time zone, official Brazilian time BRT is 3 hours behind GMT. GMT is your prime meridian, the 0 degree longitude, where time is calculated from. India is 5.5 hours ahead of GMT. GMT is Greenwich Mean Time, whereas Brazil is, according to Brazilian real time or official time, Brazil is 3 hours behind GMT. If it is 12 midnight at GMT, then it will be just 9 p.m. in Brazil, 3 hours behind. So in that way, Brazil is divided into 4 time zones, figure 9.12, page 66. You can see it out there. The time zone has the hours written out there, -2 hours, -3 hours, -4 hours, -5 hours. Minus means you minus whatever the time is at GMT. If it is 8 in the morning at GMT, then it will be 5 in the morning at Brazil. That is the Brazilian real time. But if you are at the easternmost part of Brazil, then you go to -2 hours. That means if it is 8 in the morning at GMT, it is just 6 in the morning in Brazil. Then the second time zone is 3 -3 hours, and it will be 5 o'clock in the morning. Then it will be 4 hours. If you minus 4 hours, it will be 4 o'clock in the morning. And if you minus 5 hours from 8 o'clock according to GMT, it will be 3 o'clock in the morning. So if wherever you are, it depends on which longitude you are at. That is why you have to check the official time zones accordingly. Whereas this is the Brazilian real time movement, whereas in India, there is only one time zone, and that particular line passes through Allahabad in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and the degree of it is 82.5 degrees. Even if you are at Silchar in your Nagaland state, or if you are at Porbandar in Gujarat, the time zone will not change. It will be same. If it is 7 a.m. in Silchar or in the state of Assam or in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, which is in the eastern part of India, easternmost part of India, and the westernmost part of India is the state of Gujarat, the same time will be there. If it is 7 o'clock in Arunachal Pradesh, it will be 7 o'clock in Gujarat also. Because India is having only one time zone in that case. If you do have to calculate time, you remember Greenwich is your GMT, which is your 0 degree longitude or 0 degree meridian. From there you can do your calculation work in that particular manner. India and Brazil have a good difference of 8.5 hours. India is 5.5 hours ahead of ahead of GMT, and Brazil is 3 hours behind GMT. So if you want to calculate the time between India and Brazil, you have to remember there is 8.5 hours difference. We are ahead of Brazil by 8.5 hours, and Brazil is behind us by 8.5 hours. If it is 8:30 in the evening in India, then it will be 12 o'clock afternoon in Brazil. It is as simple as that way. If you do have any doubts, any queries, any problems, you are most welcome to ask me. Now that half of this chapter is completed, if you have any doubts, you have any queries, you are most welcome to ask me. I am available around the clock, 365 days a year. And in this way, we Hira English School teachers, management have done their best. All the teachers of every school have done their best by making videos, by uploading them on YouTube or taking Zoom lectures or whatever form of education they have done online. I thank all the teachers during this pandemic period. They have literally, laboriously, toilingly, struggling to make videos and putting it up on YouTube. And these videos are viewed all over the world, we know. And in that case, we have to take very, very precarious measures to make our videos and put it up on the YouTube. I thank all the teachers who have done this great duty, great job, sincerely, honestly, with loyalty. And I request all the dear and near students, let it be in Bhiwandi, Thane, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India, or all over the world. I thank all my dear students for viewing my videos, and I hope I've done my level best. We are humans. It is earth to human and God. It is divinely if you are in that heavenly abode. So it's rather much most difficult struggles for the teachers to put up, make up all these videos and do it in such a particular manner. I thank each and every one, all the new ones, dear ones, my staff, my management, because they have fulfilled whatever I asked them. I thank my principal also on behalf of all the other staff, so that we have done our duty really legally, loyally, honestly, put up all the struggles of everything and done up everything. Please, students, do view all the videos and listen to them very carefully, because all the teachers have put in every bit of work they could do so that they could fulfill each and everything in a particular manner to reach each and every child. Because we are in Maharashtra, this particular syllabus is followed in Maharashtra for the SSC students, that is the 10th standard board of Maharashtra. The Maharashtra Mumbai board is called SSC, Secondary School Examination, in that way. Thank you. I am available 24/7, round the clock, 365 days a year. We Hirayan and the Hiraites are fulfilling their duty. It's your duty to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the channel, and comment on the channel also. But viewing is more important than doing the other part of it. If you view it, obviously share it. It is very common for everyone to do their work. We have fulfilled our duty to the utmost, to the betterment, to as and what we have been given, as and what the time schedule is, as and when the pandemic has been done for us. We thank God. I thank Allah for each and everything in my need of the hour, and I thank all my dear and near students. I thank all the staff, all the teachers of every school, whatever struggles they have done, whatever job they have done, whatever laborious work they have done to make up the videos. So please do view and share the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. I thank our school management especially for putting up us on the YouTube, using the YouTube and fulfilling all the requisites according to the YouTube. Thank you. Jazakallah wa ma alayna illa al bala. Assalamu alaikum.